Bitcoin's still trading at 106K, but it's all about these altcoins. Everybody wants to know, when are these things going to bounce? Are they actually going to bounce, or are we going to get rinsed before this happens? So today, guys, I'm looking at a couple of signals here that could tell us we might have an altcoin bounce around the corner. I'm thinking this week, in the next couple of days, we should have something for you guys. So we got stacks of altcoins. I've got some special guests today from Chart Hackers. We got so much to talk about here. Let's get right into it. Remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. I'm so happy to be back on Banter Plus, my home. I missed the show on Sunday, and then yesterday, if you guys are wondering where I was on Crypto Live. That is our new channel, and I'm going to be appearing there at least once a week on Crypto Live. So make sure you are also subscribed to that guy. Ray is in the house, as you know. No rainbows anymore. He's a serious chart hacker now. Then we've got a couple of special guests that we pulled out of Chart Hackers. They are some of our traders here. Look at this. Look at this. They're ready to go. One of them's even in his car. He's so pumped about this at the moment. So these guys are very active traders there in Chart Hackers, and I thought we better get them up and just get a little bit of a feel from them. Now, we're talking Pengu today as well. I've got a whole lot of stuff for you on Pengu, and you can actually claim your airdrop. If you were trading on Phantom in the last, say, 18 months, I think it was before 24, you can now get some kind of OG airdrop on this Pengu, and it's down 46%, and I think that makes sense. It was an airdrop, so everybody is selling it. It's just been listed, so let things settle there a little bit, but we are going to go through that. Now, we have seen a slight SOL recovery today, and that is one of the things I want to talk about. And Solana versus BTC has started bouncing, so that is something we want to discuss. But when these things bounce, what happens? Look at WIF, 4.8. Look at Bonk, 8.7%, moving pretty nicely here with that little bounce in the market. So let's jump into BTC, and then we're going to take a look at all these little indicators that I think could start giving us a couple of clues. So just out the gates here, Bitcoin on the 2 hours, some interesting things happening. We've seen a nice big push now in the last day or so, and things could be potentially heating up a little bit to the downside. We just need to be cautious now. There is a little bit of divergence forming at the moment on BTC on the 2 hour, but what we can do is react accordingly on some big levels. So for me, the big zone here, 106, you can see we've reacted on our anchored VWAP. We are sitting on our 382 after that sell-off. I mean, that candle was pretty rough today, okay? A little up down there, but nice little bounce. So 106,400 for us at the moment on BTC. Then a little bit lower down, we've got it. Well, we can't ignore the 618. That is 105,200. Look for any moves into that. And then a little bit lower, 104,400. And I'm watching this anchored VWAP push up here at 104. So I'm not expecting much lower than this in the next while. But look, stranger things have happened. But these are the zones that I would look for reactions on now on BTC. So any dips into these types of areas, we are looking for reactions off those guys. One of them should give you a decent bounce there on BTC. And then upside, we are still locked into that 113K. That is what we're looking for on the 3-day chart. We will run through that one in a couple of minutes now. But right now, we can't be bearish. Like, I know it's difficult out there as an altcoin trader. Yes, sir. Are you there? What's happening?
So I just wanted to I forgot to do this yesterday. I'm sorry to cut you off. But anybody that's here for the first time, can you drop a 1 or a Y in the chat? And if it is your first time, just please follow the steps below. Watch the show daily, follow risk management, and number 3, make profits and join the Chart Hackers.
Raise special tips. Now, guys, remember how the market works. We get super pumps on these altcoins. We get euphoric. We buy these bottoms. Then we start trading breakouts. Then we start doing things. And then sometimes we start chopping around. And this is just the nature of the market. And right now we do seem to be in one of those phases where trading altcoins is a little bit harder than it was, say, a week or two ago when everything was pumping. But remember, everything returns. It goes back eventually. We just need to make sure we're not getting rinsed in the meantime, and we need to use all the indicators that we can to make sure we can time things correctly along the way. So just be patient. If you are taking a little bit of pain, just hang in there, and we will be sorting you guys out shortly. Now, and today, I mean, obviously, we got some bangers coming in, but let's see what is going on in the news and just a couple of things. And I just love this. Whenever I see this, I feel so happy for the El Salvador crew. I mean, this guy was absolutely ragged for buying the top of Bitcoin at 42K, and there El Salvador's Bitcoin holdings hit a new all-time high today. I mean, congrats to this man for having the conviction, for sticking through and really doing it. He's like one of those sailor types. And I just love seeing that news that this guy's absolutely cooking. And then Ben Cowan just pointing out something bullish for us here, the Bitcoin monthly RSI. Now, he's not saying anything, but I think he's trying to say something without saying it. And the top the top for BTC always seems to sort of happen when we hit this this rising trend, or I mean the trend at the top here at about 90 on that monthly RSI. So you can see the current RSI has got a long way to go. Let's just not get chopped up in the meantime. Let's not get rinsed out. And then you can see Tom Crown underneath there saying higher. And he knows he wants to send it much higher. Now we're talking a little bit of Doge here today, and I thought let me play you this video because it's obviously a bit of a narrative here with the Department of Government Efficiency, and Doge has become something we cannot ignore. And we know it's not going away as long as Elon Musk is working with Trump. We know there's going to be some kind of Doge catalyst or Doge catalyst along the way. And I thought let's just play this video here, and then we're going to take a look at this Doge chart. So Ray, I'm just switching browsers quickly here. Just let me know if you can hear this one, sir. 𝗲𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄𝗎𝗄
the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk has been working very hard with various people, including Vivek. Will going to eliminate hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud. And I can only tell you, I'll give you a little early report, they're finding things that you wouldn't even believe. So we're looking to save maybe $2 trillion. And it'll have no impact. Actually, it'll make life better, but it'll have no impact on people. It's not like we will never cut Social Security, things like that. It's just waste, fraud, and abuse.
Waste, fraud, and abuse. I think that's typical for any country. But these guys now, they've uncovered a couple of things, and now this is Musk's department. So I think things are going to be relatively bullish now going forward for Doge. Let's get this Doge chart out. Let's start looking at this one again, and just make sure everything is cooking here. Hold on. Oh, boomer vibes again, bro. I'm boomer vibes everywhere. Here we go. Okay, there you go. There goes the Doge chart. Guys, forgive me. I'm switching like 500 browsers here. Okay, so just covering Doge. You can see what's happened now. We have had a bit of a cool off now after those original pumps. So that does make perfect sense for us. And we can see Doge at the moment is ranging at the 0.376 low. So, anyone looking to accumulate, yes, I think the game has changed for Doge. I mean, I don't see it dumping too heavily in the near term, especially with the catalyst that we have around with Musk. They're now in government, all these types of things. So Doge could be something you want a little piece of. We know Elon Musk is a super smart man, and he's going to definitely do something with this token. So 0.376, watch that area. That is your range load support. That is the one you need to play at. If you are looking for DCA zones, it's that guy, and then a little bit lower, 3137. Those are our big numbers. Those are the DCA zones. It's simple as that. Degen traders, well, you know what to do. You're dialing in on the 1 hour, and I'm going to show you a ton of setup today that you can use this exact same method. So no more harping on Doge, but just something you guys need to keep your eyes on. And then don't forget, Banter has partnered with Ledger, and Ledger want to give you guys $70 worth of Bitcoin if you buy the Ledger Flex. So now there is a link in the description below the show. All you need to do is go under the show description, grab your Ledger button, just hit the ping there. You'll see it over there. It's going to magically appear under the show description shortly, but it will be there for you guys. And take advantage. They're giving you $70 worth of Bitcoin there if you buy that Ledger Flex. Okay, S&P 500 looking fine. Okay, no issues here with the S&P. We are still consolidating in the zone, but nothing to report here. Okay, nothing to report at the moment. Let this thing grind higher. As long as we are positive in the market there, we should be okay with BTC, and we are seeing that in the BTC price. This is us on the 3-day, and that 113,900 target, that is locked in for me. So looking for that one to play out. How do we get there? Well, very simply, guys, we've got this rising trend. This is our fun line. And ultimately, we just want to see this trend higher until we hit that zone. Yes, then we can maybe fall over from there. That is my current plan. And I'll be TPing the rest of my BTC long at that 113K zone if and when we get there. So right now, interim support for us on the 3-day, big number here, 99K, a little bit lower, 94K. Anyone holding spot or relaxing in non-high leverage trades, that's all you need to know right now. 99, 94, that is all you need. And Crypto Viking says Velodrome bouncing off 618 support after pullback. Guys, there's been lots of these types of bounces and decent reactions so far. So we're going to go through tons of these now. for you guys. And just a reminder as to why there could be potential a little bit more downside this month. And we looked at this one briefly yesterday, but 𝗙𝗘𝗘𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 just explains very nicely here that alt season happens really between January to May. Okay, ETH earns about twice Bitcoin's positive return on average during the period January to May. So that is something to look forward to. We are 2 weeks away. Okay, can we survive one more dip in the market? If that is going to happen, a little flush out before the big send, it's something we need to be aware of. And again, we can't say it's going to happen, but we need to just be aware and we need to plan accordingly. So always be ready, always be prepped for both sides and both types of moves. And Steve says the Germans are crying after selling 53K. I concur, Steve. I mean, yeah, it's insane that they sold that at 53K, and they put us through so much pain, those Germans, when they were selling. Do you remember that? It was Mt. Gox as well, giving us a lot of stress at the time. Now, our altcoin season index monitor, call it what you want. We are no longer in altcoin season, according to this guy. So you know what needs to happen. We need to pump back up into this zone. Very frustrating chart that we had 3 days of alt season. But guys, no changes. As long as Bitcoin is grinding higher, we are okay. These alts should organically just start moving up. And when the time is right, they will start firing. So just be patient with that stuff. And then some of the big altcoin season indicators for us. And I show you this chart every day, but it's a very important chart. It's ETH versus BTC. And right now, this plan is still in play for us. So we've got that big rejection there on ETH BTC. And can we see lower? Yes. So levels that we can watch here, 32 and 29. These are big ones for us for ETH versus BTC if there is going to be a shift to the downside. And this chart is looking a little bit bullish. So, you know, it's on the weekly. We can see it's tailing off a little bit here. But, you know, ultimately, we would like to see that. But it might come with one more sell-off in the meantime. So just something to be aware of. And then altcoins from yesterday. This is our entire altcoin market, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. No changes here. We are simply in this downtrend, just like ETH at the moment, just like a lot of these altcoins at the moment. We are sitting in downtrends. And until we start breaking these highs, we need to just play a little bit more cautiously here and be, you know, less aggressive with a lot of the moves that we are trying to play in the meantime. Not saying we can't have fun along the way and catch a couple of moves. Now, when do we get our altcoin bounce? That is the question. So there's a couple of things that are staring us in the face right now, and it might even be a short-term bounce that we need to be teeing up for. So I would say we are around the corner in the next couple of days. I'm looking for this dominance push into the 50-day moving average, into the 100-day moving average. That is 58 to 59%. That is going to be our zone. So one more little bit of pain potentially with regards to dominance. Then we're looking for that nice big rejection there. So I think we are close to some kind of altcoin bounce. And look, it doesn't have to be a massive bounce. We could have a situation where we pump into that resistance band and then they just give us this small little move before sending it higher. So that is something we need to be aware of as altcoin traders. As much as you don't like this, I'm going to show you a very bullish indicator for this dominance here. And this is not a good look for us on dominance. Look at that. That weekly is starting to bottom out and might be some kind of short-term, well, it's a weekly chart, but might be some kind of reversal incoming here on the weekly for dominance. So we're going to play big levels to the upside, big levels to the downside. We're going to play ping pong on these zones. And these are essentially where we are going to get our altcoin trades. And we're going to know when to take profit on these alts in those types of regions. So any altcoin traders right now, what you want to see is let dominance push into this rejection zone. Once that rejection comes, then we should see these alts popping quite nicely off some of their levels. The question is, can we survive any more dips? Now look at these guys, right? The ETH Foundation, they sold the top again. Unreal. Every single time these guys sell, the market dumps. And here they go again. It's unreal. It's unreal. But these guys call the top every single time. And they sold 100 ETH. So it's not a big deal. They sold $420,000. But how often do they nail the top of these moves? Every time we get a big green candle, these guys pop out like the butler on Mr. Deeds. And then they start dropping, they start selling their ETH. So very frustrating from that side of things. And Altcoin Sherpa, he's selling at ETH that's roughly at the same spot that BTC was around 70K in 2021. Okay, ETH hasn't materially broken this level for years. It's time. He's saying don't get shaken out. And look, I have to agree with what this man is saying. And there's a couple of signs, and we touched on this chart yesterday. There's a couple of signs for us where we would be able to flip relatively bullish on ETH. And I think the big one now for us is this daily oscillator, my chart prime oscillator. Once we get that break of trend, I think we're going to see some action here on ETH. So I'm watching this incredibly closely. I'm getting ready to really get stuck into ETH. If we do start breaking these highs, I think that is going to be our trigger for quite a big move on ETH. So just biding my time here a little bit. You can see our money flow on the oscillator is still nice and green. It is still nice and positive. So things are looking okay from that side, but we want to pop this 4,100, 4,080 zone. We want to break it hard, and that is going to open a door for some big trades. That is going to open the floodgates on some of these meme coins. It's going to open the floodgates on so many tokens that, we just got to be ready for that moment. So I'm watching this thing daily. The minute we get that big pump there, I think we're going to start pushing quite aggressively on ETH. Now, one of the ETH plays that I like, obviously you guys know about this one, it's 𝗏𝗏𝗡, and this is an absolute banger for me. And it's been a decent performer. I mean, quite interesting on the dump now. We haven't looked at it since the dump, but straight into our 618. That's an interesting one for us. But remember, strength in ETH. We want to have some ETH beta plays running. And 𝗏𝗏𝗡 is obviously one of our favorites. So here at 52, that is a banger for me. So any dips for 𝗏𝗏𝗡 into 52, that is a hot zone that I'm watching closely. Look at this, 50-day MA, anchored VWAP, 382, and some major horizontal levels as well. So that is a big zone. 𝗏𝗏𝗡 trade is 52.7. That's a hot one for me. If there is a little bit more weakness, you're watching 48, but that's pretty, I don't want to see much lower than that. Okay, that is pretty much where I'm putting my line in the sand there on 𝗏𝗏𝗡. Want to see some pumpage there, especially on an ETH explosion. I think things could really start ripping for us there. So 52.7, 48.2, watch that. Upside targets, yes, we're going to take out those highs. 69 is what we're looking at. Then a little bit higher, we've got 80. So these are still locked in for us, and could be quite pleasant, something along those lines. And then we just send that one, and we send it, and we send it. Okay, so that is the game plan on 𝗏𝗏𝗡. Remember, be ready. 𝗙𝗓𝗔𝗡𝗦, 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗦, 𝗵𝗑𝗄, 𝗠𝗙𝗑, 𝗏𝗏𝗡. What are the other banger ETH plays there, Ray, that you guys can be ready on when we do get that big break on ETH? You must be prepped and ready to go on some of these tokens. Don't get caught sleeping when it starts moving. Now, a little bit of depressing news for Sol traders. Matthew Hyland saying Sol is cooked. It's breaking down against BTC, ETH, others, total 2, total 3. And the man is not wrong. But remember, Sol was one of the front runners. Sol was one of the big movers right in the beginning for us. And he's dropped a couple of charts. Now, I'm looking at some of these for you guys now. This is Sol BTC on the weekly. He's got Sol ETH, okay, losing a level. Interesting. Then he's got Sol versus others, also lost a massive level. And I mean, we know this one. The other alts have been absolutely outperforming, including some of the other meme coins. So it makes perfect sense. Does this mean we're not bullish on Sol? No, I'm super bullish on Sol. And Marty Party just reminding everybody that Sol is the first L1 to break out of speculation into fundamental valuation. This open source global machine is owned by the public and is generating more revenue than all other networks combined. Okay, so let's not turn into Sol bears. And what I wanted to show you, this was my trigger for potential alt revival here, and this is the one we need to watch closely. So this is Sol versus Bitcoin on the daily chart. Now, why I was suggesting a potential short-term bounce on dominance, short-term bounce in the market, is this exact reason that we are looking at here. So Sol versus Bitcoin on the daily chart, you can see what's been going on. We've been bleeding out versus Bitcoin, dumping. What have we hit? We've hit a major horizontal level here on the daily. So this is a typical reaction zone for us on Sol versus BTC, but we've got another clue. Look at this. Our oscillator is very much bottoming out here on the daily, and that is telling us that there's a move potentially brewing to the upside. Now, how high that's going to go, that remains to be seen, but this is a great trigger for me on Solana and Sol ecosystem plays. What are Sol ecosystem plays? Well, we don't have to jump too far. We can look at things like Popcat. We know this man loves to trade Popcat. Myro, look, he doesn't even know he's on the screen at the moment. Popcat, Myro, a lot of these Sol memes. And I know Mia's trading a couple of these things as well. She's getting stuck into some of those. And Tama as well. He's out of his car. Welcome, sir. He's jumped out of his car. He's back. So we're going to bring them on. We're going to chat to some of the traders from Hackers and just get a feel for what they are trading at the moment. But just with regards to Sol, remember the rules here. If Sol starts ripping, yes, that's great. That's bullish for us. But what else can play? Popcat, what a banger. Myro, what a banger. Bonk, what a banger. Whiff, what a banger. All of these things based on Sol strength can really outperform for you. So the signs are there that there's a reversal coming, a decent sized reversal now on Sol versus BTC. And I suspect that will ignite some of the Sol ecosystem plays. And yes, don't forget Render, don't forget Pyth, don't forget Jupiter, don't forget Drift, and some of those others as well. So something to watch here, guys. The signs are there. And if we do get the short-term bounce, look, it doesn't mean it's super bullish. We could easily just get something like that, then that big rejection there. So could be a short-term move here on Sol versus BTC, but interesting nonetheless. So track this one, especially if you're trading Sol meme coins and any other related plays. Look out for these rejections to the upside. That could indicate that there might be a little bit more pain than on the Sol ecosystem. Now, jumping into Sol on the 12-hour, no real changes to what we discussed yesterday. So if you guys were looking at the rejection zone I gave you yesterday, 222 was our big rejection zone, and they pumped it straight into that zone. Look at that VWAP in the way, and then a nice hard rejection, but decent recovery now today after a little stop hunt on Sol. So what can you do now as a Sol trader? Well, pretty simply for me, you want to see Sol hold 222. That was resistance for us yesterday. Now we've broken through. Now, any pullbacks, we want this to hold. If we're going to stay bullish on Sol, 222 is where it's at for me. That is what we want to see holding. And then we're going to be looking at a little higher. We're looking at 240, 245. You can see my oscillator is starting to push higher. What I do want to see is the sharp push in the money flow as well. We just want to see that start trending higher. And then I think we're going to get some more energy on Sol. So far, so good. If you're sitting in Sol and you got chopped up a little bit today, 222, that's your support that you're watching. Upside target is going to be the trend highs and VWAP, which is right here. You can see that's a danger zone. 232, then we've got 241 that is going to be coming in hot. Okay, that is our next big danger zone. Once we break through that, then we are cooking again. So Sol traders, that's all you need right now. NZ Danny, what's happening? She's saying hello to the hackers. And let's see who else is in the chats here. Let's see. 𝗬𝗓𝗘𝗦 here. He's always here, super fan. And he says Sol needs to hold steady. I concur. Breaking free says Sol pump incoming. I concur. Okay, I concur with that. Very nicely. 𝗙𝗘𝗘𝗦 is trading goat. Now, didn't Ray catch some goat in hackers earlier? Was it goat?
I sure did. We're at
Disgusting.
200% now. Let's fucking go.
Guys, who got Altcoin? Who got Altcoin yesterday? Okay, I mean that thing was ridiculous as well. And nice to see that some of these are moving. And Robert's killing it in hackers. I've seen his P&L. And Mark is saying bonk starting to pop with Sol. I concur. And let's see what else we got. Andre says he's smoking crack. Sol just retested on the weekly. I don't know, bro. You tell me. And Pegler says Sol ready to rip. And David, I've got Peppy for you, bro. I've got so much alpha here for you guys. It's all coming in hot. And I want to talk about I want to talk to one of our Sol meme coin traders here. This is the Popcat man. Okay, he does a couple of others. So Panda, are you there, bro? Are you there? Are you focused?
Yep, I'm with you.
I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about a couple of these trades, okay? So here's some of them from yesterday. Guys, 𝗬𝗢𝗟, inverse head and shoulders. Did you get your ad zone on 𝗬𝗢𝗟? I gave you that inverse head and shoulders for 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢. You can see this thing is playing out nicely here at the moment. There's our inverse head and shoulders. I gave you that zone yesterday. So I hope some of you guys grab some of that on 𝗬𝗢𝗟. And then frog, that's a banger. I'm talking about that one in a second. Injective head short peanut. That's from yesterday. I gave you guys that peanut trade. And whiff, what do we got here? Whiff is starting to move nicely for us as well. It's a bit of squeaky bum time there earlier today. Nearly had to cut that thing, but I added a little bit. It's now $32,000 and looking for some whiff action. So let's quickly cover 𝗬𝗢𝗟, and then I want to talk to Panda about his popcatting, because I know this man's trading a ton of popcat at the moment, and I just want to get his thoughts on it. I'm going to pull up my chart, and we're just going to talk through some popcat. Okay, so 𝗬𝗢𝗟, guys, you can see the situation. This was the plan yesterday. We got our right shoulder here on our 618, so nothing too spectacular. We were just looking at a horizontal 618 play, and ultimately what we want to see is this bullish head and shoulders play out. Now, not happy with the current rejection. That's a little bit annoying for me. And at a worst case, I want to see that revisit one more time. So if we do get that, look out a trend, we can still call that an inverse head and shoulders, as long as we are holding that 4.58 to 4.55 zone, somewhere in that region, we can be okay with 𝗬𝗢𝗟. Now, obviously, I'm looking for a much bigger move on 𝗬𝗢𝗟. I'd hate to get round tripped on it, but let's see how we go. So my average entry is below the 4.33, obviously looking for that one to hold for us if we do get a little bit more weakness. But the 1 hour looks like it wants to trend lower at the moment, so we got to let it play out a little bit. So key level 𝗬𝗢𝗟 traders, 4.58, 4.5. Watch those two, 4.58, 4.5. Don't want to lose those. If we do, it's 4.33 is the most natural level that is coming in next. Now, okay, let's go some Solana plays. Yeah, here's Popcat, and I wanted Panda here today because I've seen him in the chats in Hackers dropping some insane trades. Okay, and talk to me about Popcat. What are you looking for in general on that thing? And yeah, what is your play? What is your target? What is your plan?
Popcat, I was looking at the daily chart and there was an inverse head and shoulder playing out. And at the time, I kind of just, the left shoulder and the head was in, and it was sitting on a major 618. And confluences were there. It was sitting on a fib. It was sitting on a POSC. And then it dipped below the 618, but it looked like a power of 3 move to me. You know, it's just something said that this looks like a manipulation, and we kind of will regain that right shoulder. And it was the 4th touch on a major trend, so it was a no-brainer for me because it was a tight stop loss under 1, so it was like 0.9955, and that's that. And since then it's been playing out, so I plan on riding that at least to the neckline of 1.5.
Okay, 1.5. Okay, so that's a banger. Yep. I mean, that's a big move we're looking for. So look, I'm in a similar boat. I've been building this Popcat position for, it feels like forever. Since that ZoomX comp, I've been building this thing. So obviously, I want to see higher. But yeah, I mean, you look at 1.5, that looks about right to us as a nice target here for Popcat traders. Now, the secret is soul strength. Is there going to be soul strength? That's the question. If you are happy with the current Solana move and you think Sol's going to hold 222, that could be a reason to start looking at some of these some of these memes that we're looking at now. So Popcat, guys, support is 1. Okay, you can see that is our major level here. We've got 1 as support. We've got a rising trend. We've got a VWAP as well. We've got a 786 at 1.06. And I've also on the 4 hour got a little bit of divergence here. Yes, sir.
You got a blue dot there. It's pretty sick.
We got a blue dot, bro. We got the magic blue dot. Now that's generally quite a bullish indicator of some kind of reversal. Okay, so looking interesting on the 4 hour. What we want to see is the money flow. We just want this money flow to start turning higher for us. Interesting here, you can see our volume is starting to increase as well on Popcat. So that is looking a little bit better now for us after that little sell-off today. But remember, guys, the rules with these types of things: low leverage, spot. Okay, that's your safest play. If you're trading high leverage, you can get chopped up very quickly. And Panda, leverage, how much are you going here? What do you do?
I kind of went crazy with that one. I'm at least, I was at 30 and then I'm sitting at 75, but I pulled my margin out and my stop loss is at entry.
Disgusting.
Monster.
Remember,
as long
guys,
as the TA fits, you can be a degen, right? I mean,
Correct. So guys, remember the secret here. You can start your entries, get good entries, start your positions, things like that. Then you can always ramp up that leverage later on. You can take your margin out as well of your trade. If you want to learn how to do that, we talk about it in Hackers a lot of the time, and a lot of the members are doing it, like Panda. He's getting involved there. And if you want some access to some great traders, not just myself, Chaos, DJ and Dave, the Chart Prime guys, and Ray, there's a whole team of members in there that are actively trading and dropping setups, doing these types of things. Panda was dropping his setups there all day long, and he's dropping 1 or 2 a day. He's got some quality coming through for you guys. So Panda, thank you, bro. And continue the good work. You want some of this man's action? He is in Chart Hackers for you. And then I'm going to bring up Mia just now. She's also one of our undercover DJs, okay? And we've also got Tamer. I've seen he's dropping some great charts for us as well. He's moved again. There he is. He's back in the lounge. There he is. Okay. And he's also been dropping some action for us. So we are going to chat to him in a couple of seconds. So right now, Popcat, just in closing, big support at 1 for us. What you can do next, if you missed this one, you kind of want to just catch this trend break play. So you are chasing a little bit if you are chasing that trend break. But remember, that is a secondary type trade you can look at. So what you can do is just put your stop under the breakout candle. So what you can do is go into a lower time frame. And once you get a hard break, then you can start looking at a potential stop under the breakout candle. And you see there, it hasn't broken out yet. So don't push any buttons just yet if you've missed the main entry. And that is typically what you're going to be looking for. So Popcat, big support at 1 that we are going to be playing with. Now, let's talk with. And there's a couple of things now. And I wanted to give you guys, now remember, just before we went live, we had a monster sell-off in the market. And I thought, sheesh, we're getting an opportunity here for some of these altcoins. And this is what I wanted to give you. And I don't want you to take this off the table until WIF is sitting at 3.3, 3.5, those types of levels, until it starts clearing this 3 level very nicely. I want to just put this here for you guys. Be ready, be prepped. If there's a monster sell-off in the market, 2.5 to 2.3 on WIF is where it's at. That is what you're going to be looking at, and make sure you are ready. Limit orders ready, margin trades ready, and your charts are ready with alarms on in case there is a sell-off. There's a big zone here for WIF, 2.5 to 2.3. If there is one more dip in the market before the big push, and it might be, look at this daily, look at the daily oscillator here. We could get one more dip here before there's a big move on WIF. Look out for that. I want you to be prepped. I want you to be ready. This could be the ultimate money maker trade for you. 2.5 to 2.3. Get your alarms on. And then yesterday's scalp trade, no changes. We survived the chop. Okay, whoever, yeah. I mean, I hope you guys survived what I did yesterday. Earlier today, we broke trend and I added, and then I absolutely got rinsed all the way down and added a little bit more on that dip on the major support zone. And now it is moving nicely. Remember, these guys come and try and shake you out quite often. And you got to, it's a mental challenge all the time. That is why I like to say, just zoom out, watch your big zones, play the big zones, and you don't need to cut until we start closing under some of these big areas. A lot of the time, it's just gains along the way with these guys. So with a lot of pressure earlier today, but now this trade is green again, and it's absolutely ripping. So anybody who took this whiff with me yesterday, no changes here. You know, if anything, if you want to protect yourself, you can move your stop to under this reversal low from earlier, that guy. So that is around about 2.67 is what you can do. But other than that, you can see it's just floating in a little range at the moment, and a bit of consolidation here. So we could see we are sitting under that 50-day MA. This is that big one for us. Remember, this 50-day MA ties in with major daily resistance. So the real move is going to be reclaim this major area and then send it higher. If you remember, a couple of days ago, we were looking at longs on WIF as long as we were holding that zone. So now we've lost that area. So it's a major zone for us. We need to reclaim that. Once we reclaim that, we start turning extra bullish on WIF. So watch that guy. No changes now. 2.67 is one of your stop options. Alternatively, close under 2.6 is your next stop option on WIF. So 2 options there for you guys, and just something to think about. Now, here's FWOG. And I wanted to cover this one quickly. This is, well, it's a FWOG. But we've got a couple of reversal indicators here on this FWOG. And that is why I've jumped into this one. I've got double blue dots. I've got triple green reversals. I've got a cash flow or money flow starting to turn a little bit more bullish. And you can see I've got volume coming in now. We've got some divergence in volume. Look at that. We had a decreasing price and we had the volume starting to come up, plus 2 blue dots on this FWOG. So for me, I had to bring this to your attention here. Something for you guys to watch. You can see what's going on here. This is FWOG on the 4 hour, and this is our major liquidity zone. This is our major support region that we're watching. So looking for a push now on FWOG. It might come back down here, might just dip back into that zone. So what I would say is watch 2.4. So don't ape in hard. I mean, this thing is super volatile. You'll be surprised, small positions, how quickly these things start adding up. But big levels that I want you to watch, 238, watch that as support. And then any moves to the upside, well, you can see we do have a trend in play at the moment. We can track this guy for us. And then we do have a couple of targets. One of them is our quantum reactor, and the other one is going to be our 50-day moving average. So you can see these are pretty clear zones. And until we start clearing this quantum reactor, we can look for shorts into that area. So what I would suggest here on the 4 hour for FWOG, if it does start breaking these trends, yes, look out. 42, look out for that zone. And then the next zone, most likely a short zone as well, off that quantum reactor, around about 48 is what you guys are going to be looking at. So you've got your supports, you've got your rejection zones. Just play safe, guys. Small positions here, but you can see the signs are there. There might be a reversal brewing now on the oscillator. Could be some upside coming on this FWOG. Now, Pepe, let's jump onto Pepe. And just a little touch here. Max is talking to us about Pepe. He says right now, Pepe, earlier this year, but you wouldn't believe it, the teleportation is about to start. It's going to be triggered by ETH gapping up above 4K. Now that ties in with this ETH breakout we're looking at as well. And remember, 𝗙𝗘𝗘 is a nice beta play on ETH. Optimism, Arbitrum, Lido, you know the drill. 𝗙𝗘𝗘 is the other one that I love. And you have limited time to accumulate. He says he's warning you. 𝗙𝗘𝗘 is the king. Do not fade the king. Let's talk about the king, and let's see what is going on. So no real changes to a lot of these altcoins over the last couple of days, where they all look very similar to this. They all just sort of consolidating in these very tight ranges. So what does that mean for us? Well, look, it's a couple of things. We can start playing the bottom of these ranges every time we hit the lows, and we can start looking for these little moves to the highs and then see what happens. A lot of the time, like 𝗦𝗥𝗡𝗥, you're going to see today, we got a rejection at these highs. So lots of range trading happening at the moment with these types of things, but key levels for you guys to watch if you are looking for some entries. Number one, you can see our 4-hour is dipping lower. So we are looking for this bottoming out pretty soon, but where can it do that? For me, it's got to be 0.228. This type of zone here could be the one, or ultimately 2.151. These are your two trade zones. I would say we should have a 4-hour bottoming out. If we do have more weakness, 2.151. That is where I'm looking for new longs on 𝗙𝗘𝗘. Now, I am still sitting in my 𝗙𝗘𝗘 position, but I suspect if they sweat me out down to these types of level, we're going to have to start adding again or creating a new position. So that is going to be your next zone, 2.151. If we don't hold this 228, 2.151, remember all these charts go directly into Chart Hackers during and directly after the show. So all these things, just make sure you watch the show for reference and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the charts are there for you guys at your leisure. And another cool thing we are about to launch, Ray, is it active? Can we do that live charting thing now?
Yeah, it's been going.
Okay. Okay, so this is what's going down in Chart Hackers. It's starting this week. Now, every day, I prep my market reports, I chart the altcoins, I do all these types of things. We can now do this in Chart Hackers live for you guys. My screen will be shared. We'll be live charting in Chart Hackers for an hour and a half every morning for you guys. And there's some beats that Ray has stuck in there as well. So there'll be a lot of fun. If you guys want some live charting and live things happening like that, that is what I'm doing for you guys, starting from tomorrow. So something to look forward to there. And if you guys want to see how I go about my business every single day and how I chart these things. So it's going to be a banger. It's going to be an absolute banger. Okay, quick one on Brett. No changes. Anybody who saw this Brett chart yesterday, let's just talk. Big level, 153. That's our big zone. And you can see, just like 𝗙𝗘𝗘𝗏, I just want to bring this to your attention. Lots of consolidation in a range. And we know 𝗙𝗘𝗏 has a lower level. Okay, and it's very similar with Brett at the moment. So if Brett doesn't hold this current range that it's in, you can see this very tight range. It looks like an obvious long entry for me, 1537. Look at that obvious zone. This chart will be in Chart Hackers for you guys, 1537. That has got to be your banger long zone. So that'll be a proper shakeout for everybody. Everyone long under these levels is going to get rinsed out. Look out, 1537. That for me is the big trade on Brett, and I suspect it is around the corner. Okay, I want to bring on Mia, and I want to chat to her. And then we've got Tamer also. He's dropping some great alpha as well in the chats there on Hackers. And I wanted to talk about a couple of those things. So Mia, welcome. Step into the den.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
having
famous.
me.
So
know
Mia's
about
one
that.
of our great members in Chart Hackers. She's always been a fan on the show. I've always seen her in the chats. And she's joined Chart Hackers. She's doing a lot of trading in there. And she's been smashing this Bitfunded as well. And Mia, what are you up to? So what are you trading right now? And any tips and tricks for some of the guys out there?
Well, right now, I've just had a ping on the Phantom, ENA, and Illuvium. What I can say, what I started doing is practicing doing your laddering in to entries. And I've only just started doing it now because I've always been too scared to, I suppose. And the other day when ENA just went up the wall, you know, and I had the best trade ever using your laddering in and having small entries, small positions, and then adding in when you get momentum. And it's been working brilliant for me. So I must say thank you for that.
Absolute pleasure, and well done with all the trades in there. So ENA, that's a ripper. I think there's more in the tank on that ENA. Illuvium's an interesting one. Where did you dig that one up? I haven't looked at that thing in ages.
You know what? I've read about it a long time ago, and I actually got an entry on Spot about 2 months ago, and I've just been watching it and watching it and watching it, and I just see it spike and then come down, and I'm sure it's gonna do well soon, especially in this bull run. I'm pretty sure it's gonna do well.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a gaming play, right? So, yeah, I think it's a banger. It's probably a great spot hold as well. Okay, and yeah, I mean, any other feedback for us there? Anything you'd recommend to anybody in Chart Hackers?
Well, do the accelerator course. I mean, I've done Sheldon's course, I've done Kyle's course, and then when I did your course, it just put me back to basics. It's just reinforced stuff that I wasn't actually doing. I knew it, I understood it, but I wasn't putting into practice. And just going back to basics and just the discipline and the patience. My problem is not having the patience. I know it's going to get to a certain level, and I just jump in going, well, it hasn't hit it, I've obviously missed it. And instead of just waiting, and then again, practicing or laddering in, and now I'm for the first time, I'm actually doing proper trades. Nice. I'm so chuffed with myself.
That's so good. And I've watched you grow along the way. I mean, it's been incredible. I've watched you blossom into quite a legendary trader. So you can also find her. She's in the chats, also dropping trades and setups there in Chart Hackers. It's not just about the team in there. The whole community is getting involved. Mia, thanks so much for hanging. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to jump on with a few more charts here. We're going to crack on, and then I'm going to bring 𝗙𝗪𝗟 up just now. We're going to talk to him quickly as well. He's also a bit of a degen in there, and I know stuff's going down there with him. Okay, so Brett, guys, you know the drill on Brett. No changes to that. We got so much alpha here for you guys. I might have to skip through a couple of things. Let's go X5 because I'm still waiting for this trade. Now, those of you that are watching Crossfire with me over the last few weeks, I'm waiting for this 100% trade. Okay, now remember, Crossfire is DeFi. They've also launched their Web3 wallet and their card, so you can pay at merchants and do all these things. But I've been tracking this Crossfire chart for the last while, and I just want to put it out there again. The 100% trade is nearly ready. So we're just waiting for this dip on Crossfire. We've got 0.61. We are looking at here. Crossfire 0.61. That is what I'm looking for. And we are looking for that 100% trade. It's going to be a spot trade that I'm looking at and simply just playing the range. So I'm going to wait for that dip and just be patient. It will come. We've been watching this thing for a couple of weeks now. It's nearly there. So 0.60, that type of level, 100% spot trade coming up for Crossfire. You can see what happens. Every time it pumps, there's a big sell at these big resistance bands at 128. But looks like decent buys down at the 0.6. So that is what I'm going to be looking for on this Crossfire. So just be patient. There are a couple of spot trades there. Now, let's talk some 𝗬𝗥 trades and things like that. So 𝗦𝗥, pretty much a round trip for me on 𝗦𝗥, other than what I did was add to my 𝗦𝗥 position on that dip now earlier today. Then I got absolutely rinsed on Ponky. I tried that one, took a hard stop on Ponky earlier today. And then Myro, I've been accumulating a little bit of Myro today and just building that position. I see it's finally turning green for me and had a bit of squeaky bump time on that one as well. So Ondo, that was a trade I gave in Chart Hackers about an hour ago, looking for that Ondo move. So we're going to talk about 𝗦𝗥. We're going to talk about Ondo as well. And just a note on Ondo, not telling sense. Binance is back accumulating Ondo as of 40 minutes ago. Okay, so Binance is buying lots of Ondo, market making. Who knows what they're doing? But anyway, it's interesting. And what happened today? Bang! Look at this absolute banger on Ondo. And I dropped this in my section in my channel in Chart Hackers. Said I'm prepping for a long year at 1.88 or 1.89 on Ondo. Simple play, horizontal, and 618. Looking for that move. And we were tying that in with the 1 hour oscillator reset. Look at that. So we were just waiting for that timing to drop in to our 618. And it's uncanny how often these things work out. That, you know, you get that oversold on our prime oscillator there. Look at that dip, prints the reversal. Where does it print the reversal? Exactly on the 618 hot zone there for us. So anyway, that's a nice little scalp Ondo trade. This could be bearish for now. The reason being, if we flip this thing over, let's just take a look here. Okay, we've now had a break of trend and we are essentially looking for some kind of retest now on Ondo. So we could be a little bit bearish now, looking for something like that and then maybe that send there on Ondo. So I just want to put that warning out there. If you are jumping in now and you didn't get that hot entry, you might have to just wait, let things play out a little bit, because when does Ondo turn bullish again? Well, it turns bullish when we start breaking that trend. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking for. So if there is a hard push in the market, we are looking for that. And that is going to be our next Ondo trade. So Ondo trade 1 was the one I dropped in Chart Hackers about an hour ago. The next Ondo trade, you need to see this trend break. When you break that trend, that is going to be trade 2. And those of you that are still sitting in the trade, if it does break that trend, that is opportunity. Add to your position, grow your size, really start pressing on the trade. So Ondo traders, 1.89, that is your support at the moment. If you get a second dip into that, might be worth a look for a bounce play as well. And then if the wheels come off and we get a harder sell on Ondo, this is going to be your zone. 1.82. That is the one. 1.82. That is going to be your backup zone. Look at this. I've got my quantum reactor coming up for us as well. I've got an anchored VWAP. I've got horizontals in that zone. So 1.82, that type of region there for me on Ondo is going to be your backup area. So how to sell? What would that look like if it is going to play out? So very simply, you're going to see some kind of rejection here on Ondo, something like that, and then that push lower before the next bounce. So just look out. That is on the table for us until Ondo is confirmed bullish again. But right now, look, decent start, 1.89 support, next one 1.82, and wait for that trend break. If you've missed this trade, wait for that. Okay, that is what you're looking at on Ondo. Now let's talk AVAX. This thing is also very frustrating. All of these altcoins doing pretty much the same thing over the last couple of days, and it's almost like a waiting game before the next big move. Now, what is the next big move? Is it to this downside? Is it to the upside? Look, that is anybody's guess at the moment. What we can do is just play accordingly, and we can sculpt these ranges as long as they are there. So AVAX, again, very typical move for us. What did we bounce off? 48.3, same support as yesterday. What did we pump into? Anchored VWAP. Look at that. Nice little rejection off that anchored VWAP now today. So AVAX traders, 48.3, that is your support that you are watching. 48.3, you can see our quantum reactor is starting to turn green again. That might be a positive sign for us. If we have a medium sell-off in the market, where's your next zone? It's 46.7. That is your next zone for AVAX traders. So just look out for that. And then I'm tracking these oscillators here as well. And this 1 hour looks like it actually wants to head a little bit lower. So don't be surprised if this oscillator starts heading lower and we start getting a bleed out on AVAX. 46.7, 46.8. That is going to be your next bounce zone if that support doesn't hold. And the game plan is very simple here. Once we turn bullish again in the market, we want to see that anchored VWAP broken. We want to pop that anchored VWAP, and then we just want to ride that thing to 55. Very simple game plan here on AVAX. So trying to get some entries off these range lows, get some momentum, and then we can add when we start breaking trends. So keep it simple and keep cracking. And let's see, Success Tech Hub. I was bleeding on Link today. I got stopped out on Link. They smashed me earlier today. And Stylish Bushra says, I haven't received my Bitfunded account yet. Stylish, just tell Ray exactly what happened there in the chats. Were you one of our giveaway winners? Let us know, and then we can sort you out. Okay, let's go. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
Just tell Ray. Okay, guys, I want to talk about a couple of things. One of them is Fartcoin. Who got Fartcoin yesterday? Okay, we gave you two zones. I'm not going to harp on this one too long, but it's just classic. I mean, the absolute shit coin called Fartcoin, and look what it does here. I missed this thing by a cent. Okay, it front ran our trend in 618, unfortunately, and absolutely ripped. I can only assume there were tons of traders ready to go there off that 618, and off she goes. So anyone who missed Fartcoin, look, this thing is gone now. It is breaking a horizontal, but if you jumping in now, it's high risk play. This thing's super volatile. You can see a move like that is even 8% to the downside. So just be careful, but nice little pumper. Anyone that got that, anyone who front ran the 618, 30% pump, okay, off that move. And all it was a very simple plan here. Dip into trend, dip into horizontal, dip into 618, 3 confluence factors playing into each other, and then a nice little move there off Fartcoin. So congrats to anyone trading Fartcoin. Now, guys, stick around. I'm going to talk about this Pengu stuff, and then I'm going to make sure that I cover render for you and injector for you. So Pengu is coming, render and injective is coming. So stick around. Let's talk to 𝗙𝗧𝗟𝗏 quickly. And I just want to find out a little bit more about him as well. He's one of our members in Chart Hackers. He's very active in the chats, in the traders chat. And he's hitting us with alpha all day long. Hello, sir.
Hey, buddy. Can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you based?
Well, right now I'm in Jordan, but I'm in Canada mainly. I'm just coming here, kind of visiting family.
Okay, and did they let you be a degen in Canada? Do you have leverage trades there?
No, I don't do any leverage trading. All I do is straight spot trading.
Okay, nice. Well, thanks for the great alpha you dropping in chart hackers. What are you trading at the moment?
Right now, I'm looking at a few things. So for the ETH trade, I'm kind of going a little bit more risk with the Ethereum Classic. If you look at the two charts, they're almost identical. But for every 1% that ETH moves, Ethereum Classic moves 2, or it's on average a 2-to-1 ratio. So I'm expecting a bullish move on Ethereum. So I jumped into an ETH Classic. It's just, to make money on the trade. I'm also in 𝗬𝗘. I'm building up a position there. And then I noticed that all the ISO 200 tokens are moving today. So I jumped into XCAD, which tends to follow XRP and XLM by a day or two. So look at the charts there. It's about 48 hours behind in terms of following them.
So that was XDC. What is it called?
Yeah, XDC.
XDC. Guys, I actually saw this in the chats today. It's an absolute lagger. And 𝗬𝗪, it's 𝗬𝗪, eh? 𝗬𝗪.
Yes. Yeah.
He dropped it in the chats in chart hackers today. I think it's something to look at. XDC. Look at that one as an XRP, what do we call it? XRP beta play here. Something to watch.
In essence. Yeah, an ISO 200. IOTA is lagging as well. You could look at Algorand I jumped into. So there's a few of them that if you kind of look at the entire sector of ISO 200, some of them will jump out ahead, and usually it's the big guys, the XLM, the XRP, and then the other ones kind of follow a day or two after.
Okay, so that's banger. You've just got 2 tips from literally a community member in chart hackers. These guys, you must see the savages in there, okay? XDC could be a banger. Ethereum Classic, ETH beta play there. And I was talking Arbitrum, Optimism, Peppy. How's this? ETH Classic, okay? Every percent ETH moves, you get a ton more out of that. Okay, 𝗬𝗪, thank you. Thank you for hanging.
No problem. Just want to say, man, I've been following you guys since 67,000 members. I'm a sniper school graduate. Thank you guys for everything you do, man. I can't thank you guys for all the stuff and all the efforts you guys put into to the community.
And thanks for what you're doing in there. We appreciate everything you're doing in there. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
We'll see you in the chat. So you can find this man also dropping some alpha in the chart hackers chats. Guys, it's all going down in there. I'm so excited about this chart hackers.
Can I add something? It is all going down in there because we have a little bit of something for everybody. He's a spot trader. I'm a crazy leverage. Dylan's leverage. David's a laddering leverage degen. Chaos, we got into with the indicators, and we got the bots and automation with Chart Prime. Everybody got something in chart hackers. You guys got to join.
Khalid says, how's your CAS long going? Bro, I took the stop on CAS. That thing shat the bed, but I've got a new entry for CAS coming in hot for you guys as well. Okay, let's just do that. Where's CAS? Let me see where CAS is. There's CAS. Okay, here's CAS for you guys. Took the hard stop here earlier today. That was all in the middle of the night. CAS reversal, we know it's coming. Okay, it's coming on its way. And you can see our oscillator nearly oversold there. Lots of volume at the moment. Waiting for this reversal though. So it looks like it's around the corner. So CAS traders, where am I having another go on CAS? It is 135 or it's 125. These are the zones. Now it's a matter of being patient. Now it's a matter of waiting. Took a hard stop on that CAS. Wasn't fun. Okay, that cost money. And now waiting for the next zone. So 135, 125. These are the zones for me on CAS. Get your alarms on in those zones. Those are most likely your high probability zones then for CAS. So just be patient there, Khalid, and it will come. Okay, 135, 125 is what you're watching. Now, before we get into injective and render, I promised you this stuff. And Quint's researcher says, I think everyone's heard of Pengu. Well, I only really heard about it the last couple of days. Okay, I don't really pay attention to NFTs and stuff that much. And then he said he's prepared everything you need to know. So if you wanted to understand what Pengu is, the NFT, the token, all these things, you can follow this guy, QuinX Researcher, on Twitter. He's written a whole thread for you guys explaining the whole situation on Pengu. Now, when I show you this chart and what's going on, you'll also think this is pretty crazy at the moment. And 𝗙𝗘𝗘 says Pudgy Penguin's NFT collection currently has a market cap of over 1 billion. Punks have a market cap of 1.5 billion. I think there's a chance we see both of these hit 50 billion to 100 by the end of the cycle. Okay, so he's clearly bullish on this 𝗙𝗤𝗄. We see Justin Sun getting stuck into this as well, telling us he's an adorable little penguin to the sun. He's trying to send it. Remember, he's the banana man. He ate a $5 million banana the other day. And if you used a Phantom wallet, you can claim your free 𝗙𝗤𝗄 airdrop. So if you used, I think it was last year, if you were using a Phantom wallet before 2024, if you were swapping, you were doing all those things, you can claim your tokens. Now, I've claimed a shit ton today, and it's free money that they are just giving out. So if you have used Phantom or in the past, just go check. There'll be a banner on your wallet that says you can claim 𝗙𝗄𝗄 tokens. It will tell you as you open the wallet, there'll be a sign there for you telling if you are eligible to claim your token. So go check. It's worth a look. And then Jupiter, yes, they just announcing 𝗙𝗄𝗄 got launched today on Jupiter, and it's available now on Dex Screen. And now look at this, $2.5 billion market cap. This thing hit 4 billion about an hour or so ago. And typically what happens now, it's an airdrop. So obviously everybody's got free money. What do you do when you get free money? Well, most of the degens will start selling. But what typically could happen here is nice big sell-off on this 𝗙𝗄𝗄, and then there's going to be some super bullish trade. So what I'm doing is I'm just holding my bags that they sent me, and I'm definitely not going to be selling that or offloading here. I believe this thing goes higher at some point, so no rush to sell for me. But yes, if you got the airdrop, you've been given free money. It might be a couple of $100 or whatever, but it could be something to look at. You can see there's a couple of buyers coming in here. I mean, guys are buying this stuff. Look at this. $3,000 buy there. There was a 5/8 sell. I mean, you can see there's action here. Someone's bought $22,000 of this thing. So the guys are getting aggressive on this 𝗙𝗄𝗄. But that's in a nutshell, that's what it is. So let this thing sell off, let it settle a bit. I believe we will get some bullish moves at some point. Now, some other meme coins that I've been playing around with, other than this 𝗙𝗄𝗄, is 𝗪𝗘. This is an interesting one, and this thing's shot up to a 32 million market cap pretty quickly. And if you are interested in this guy, this is a 𝗬𝗎 meme play, and we got a big level coming in now. So this thing's been selling off a little bit, but I've got a hot zone here for you guys at 28. So remember, you don't want to buy these things when they are pumping super green. You want to try and get them when they are turning a little bit more bearish. You want to try and buy them on pullbacks and those type of things. So 0.0288 for me on 𝗪𝗘, and a little bit lower down, 0.0188. So this is 𝗪𝗘 on 𝗬𝗎, and look, seems to have a good move so far. Could be one to watch, could be something of interest. Watch your levels. Remember, best buys are always on weakness. Then another banger for you guys, Goku. What an absolute banger. Now, I've had this on my show quite a few times over the last while. Look at this. We brought it to you guys the other day again. We had a trend break on the 4 hour. This is an absolute ripper move. I think this thing has legs. Okay, we've got a nice move here, 180%. Anybody who bought that trend break on Goku, this thing looks like it's going to go higher. $15 million market cap at the moment, and absolute banger. It's the enemy play. Could be a narrative, guys. Okay, just putting it out there for probably the 10th time. Okay, I think I dropped this one originally in Sniper Club, probably at about a $2 million market cap, give or take. So anybody who got that originally is now absolutely cooking. And remember, the same rules apply. Look for weakness on these things. Don't necessarily buy the green pumps. Okay, you really want to buy when it drops into some nice solid zones, or there is some kind of consolidation and then some kind of trend break. You know, that is where you want to start looking at these things. So let it just play out a little bit. Remember, the best buys are always on weakness for me, rather than chasing these big green candles. Okay, so there's a couple of meme coins for you guys. Let's talk Injective. Let's talk Render as well. These are two very important ones, and this is my current view. So no changes on Injective, no changes on a lot of these altcoins that have this look to them. We are in a downtrend. Now, if you compare Injective to ETH, you will note that ETH is sitting up there somewhere. So ETH is very close to a breakout to the upside, but Injective is in a clear downtrend here at the moment. So, you know, we need to treat it as such until this thing turns super bullish again. So how do we get bullish on Injective? Well, number one, let's hold 27. That's our support. That's 50-day MA. That's 382. That's horizontal. That's anchored VWAP. So let's hold 27, even just above 26. So let's hold 27 to 26 on Injective. That could be a nice base for us to start working from. What we want to see is a nice reset on this daily, where we are getting there. We are slowly getting there. Unfortunately, it might be something like that. Okay, just like we saw in this previous occasion here, we might have something like that on the daily. So there might be some more time needed for injective. But where can you get involved? If you're looking for short-term longs, 27 is your support. Upside target, I wouldn't get too aggressive. I would say your upside target is around about 31, give or take. And that's just going to be a fake out through that 236 zone. That's that 30 region. And that is, pretty much for me. Then support 27 to 26. That's your level. Lower down, 24.3. That's going to be your next big zone where you can look for some buys. So I wouldn't chase big targets yet on injective until we start getting some proper momentum. So how do we get momentum? What do you want to see? So simple game plan. We want to pop this 30 zone. You can see this is a big area for us here. Look at that big resistance, big support previously. So we want to break through that area, most likely reject, but we want to start holding the next zone. And we want to just climb up to the next zone. And we just want to play it zone by zone there as we go on injective. And Sayed says, buy the damn red candles. I think that is sound advice. Okay, sound advice. We like to buy red candles. Yeah, we like to buy the red. We like to buy into the hot zones. And then we send them. Okay, that is pretty much what we like to do. Looney says, where is Chart Hackers? Chart Hackers is our trading group, Looney. And you can grab the link in the show description. And you just go under the show description there. And you click on more. And then you will see everything is there for you under the show, including the link for Chart Hackers, including the links for all the exchanges that I use. WeX, for example. Prime XBT is there as well. And all the things, all the goodies that I use is all there for you guys under that show description. Okay, so injective, you've got the deal. You know your support zones. That's what you need to watch. Let's talk render. This is an important one for me as well for you guys. So a couple of things going on. We know this is a Sol ecosystem play now. Render is on Sol. And obviously it's got its own narrative as well, the AI narrative. And you can see just like a lot of these other altcoins, it is sitting on support. Look at that. So injectives on major support, renders on major support. So 8.87 for us, that is our current render zone that I would be paying attention to, 8.87. But what happens if there's a meltdown in the market? Well, right now we can see the oscillator is sending us lower. They do want to push this down, so that is a little bit concerning. We can see our money flow is also trending down at the moment. Our volume is trending down at the moment, so there could be a sign that there's more downside coming for render. So I just want to lock that in for you guys so you understand where you're playing. And spot traders, things like that, DCA guys, you are chill. Okay, you buying here 8.8, you are buying 7.96. That's a buy zone. And then if you capitulate to 7, well, that's quite a big buy. So 7 is a big buy zone then for render. So these are your DCA zones that you want to watch. Naturally, we can get shorter term reversals. And that is where you look at the 1 hour. That is where you start looking at the 4-hour oscillators. So let's just see what those look like quickly there. And you can see the 1 hour showing signs of some kind of reversal prints here. You can see we're getting these green prints. So if we do get this reversal now on that 1 hour, that could be pretty bullish short term for us there on render. And what does that look like? Well, you can zoom in and just get a nice clear picture. Now I know this chart is super messy. Excuse the mess there, guys. Let's try and clean that a little bit for you. Okay, so typically what you want to do here for degen setup on render is you just want to see, do we have a couple of things offering some kind of confluence here? Are there a few things offering some kind of support for us that we can use as a launch pad? Now you'll see a lot of the best altcoins are sitting under these VWAPs. And right now render, are sitting above these VWAPs. Right now render is below these VWAPs. It's also below the quantum reactor on the 1 hour. So that's relatively bearish from that perspective. Then let's look at a couple of levels here. Look at that little 618 tap for render. So that is good information for us now. We just had a sell-off there. So 8.66. So degen support. If you want to play degen games, you want to play short-term moves, well, what you can use is this 8.66. We know this is quite a substantial 618 fib. So, it's offered a decent bounce on things like Ondo. It's offered a bounce on a lot of other tokens. And then you can just bang out your trend. And you can play this a couple of ways. But for me, I would say if you pick this up at 8.66, that's your support. Where's my next trade? Let it pop. Got to break this first, break that quantum reactor. Then you're looking at that retest buy on render. So right now, 8.66. If you see a hard push from render and it breaks 9, convincingly, you're going to be able to use, say, 8.9 as your support going forward for some pumpage there. Okay. that is a wrap. Guys, lots of talking from me today. I hope you got a good picture. Couple of setups, couple of cool ideas for you. Let's see tomorrow what they are going to give us. But I'm loving the fact that Bitcoin is so bullish. If we don't get a massive rejection from Bitcoin and it starts ranging, guys, get ready. These alts are going to start pumping. So just make sure you are ready all the time. Have your favorite charts ready for you. Have your alarms on. Understand your levels. Remember the rules. Do the homework first, so that you are ready. When the move happens, then you are relaxed and you can start operating immediately. Whether it's down, whether it's up, you are cool, calm, and collected because you've done the work before. If you want to know how to do the work, join Chart Hackers. Okay, that's simple as that. Guys, have a good evening. See you, or good day. See you guys tomorrow. Banger.
You didn't get